testing day at Makins. We've got Matt Godfrey, Steve Ringer and Adam Rooney, and I'm going to get a little winter silverfish tips from each of them. So, main man Steve Ringer, hit me with it, mate. What we're going to be talking about.
First tip, always like to have 2 groundbait bowls. Not just 2 bowls of groundbait in, so I can vary my mixes. So I'll have one mix wet,
Yeah.
like that one, with a bit of food in it, a few joker in there, odd castor, odd dead maggot. And then I'll have another mix, which is what I'd call a normal texture, with nothing in it. So basically I've got 2 options. So if I want to introduce a bit of bait, just go straight into that mix or cloud it up. And if I want to like vary what I'm feeding, I've got like a totally bare groundbait, so to speak, which I can add a few particles, I can fish neat groundbait, I can do anything pretty much. So rather than trying to have one bowl, do everything in it, 2 bowls, 2 different mixes, same groundbait, but I can just vary things up just to keep those bites coming.
I like it. When would you look to introduce that sort of wetter mix? Like, would you do it at the start, middle, or through, or would you use it as sort of an impact?
What I've done today is used it at the start, well, caught a few straight away, and then literally it's gone dead, and I've just put another 3 in of the wet mix, and I've just started getting a few bites again, but I'm basically feeding with that at the minute to draw the fish, and then catching them on that.
Really nice.
So it's just a case of varying what you feed to keep the bites coming, but I just find it easier to have 2 bowls rather than sort of mess up your mix in your main bowl, have to throw it away and start again.
I like it. 2 bowls, 2 different jobs. Lovely little tip. Roon's into a beast.
What's all this?
What's the tips, mate? Come on, hit me with it.
What is this? What do you want to tip about fishing?
I want a tip about fishing to help people catch fish.
Oh, I've got a good one.
Yeah.
I've got a good one, which I learnt today. You steal a top kit off Matt,
Yeah.
which has got a nice light elastic on,
Yeah.
and then you balance your tackle,
Right.
fishing the margins,
Yeah.
whilst fishing for perch.
I like it.
Sometimes you might catch a carp, but because your gear's quite nice and balanced, you've got a really good chance of getting it out.
So what you're saying is, a nice balanced setup
Yep.
is the key to catching small fish, but still having a chance of landing bigger ones.
It's great fun in the winter, isn't it?
It's very nice.
You know,
Is he a big perch or a carp?
it's a big carp.
Oh, he's nice.
Look, it's twisted on my line now.
Oh, he's a beast.
Look at that, in shallow water as well.
Look at that.
Down the old reg.
What are we talking? What hook length wise? Hook and stuff.
That is a prototype
Yeah.
09 fluorocarbon
Very nice.
and a prototype mainline of 013 fluorocarbon.
Nice balance get. Nice. Look at him.
He's a good
Massive.
I wish it was a perch.
Imagine that as a perch.
I know. But,
You'd be a world record holder, mate.
I know, would you? Another one.
I like it. Right, I'm letting him look that. Lovely little tip. Balance tackle.
In the winter.
And also, mate, I don't think you got enough corn on your tray.
This is the trick, you see. So Ringer thinks I'm loose feeding corn.
Yeah.
3 points in one session. Look at this. It's a trick.
Oh, sneaky,
I only got
sneaky.
one tin. That will last me 10 matches, that.
Sneaky, sneaky. Get on the corn and cast a combo.
Do you want to say goodbye to him?
Let's. Bye-bye, mate.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Look at that.
Oh,
Good fun, isn't it, in the winter?
love it. Right, I'm going to get another tip off you.
Another tip.
Yeah, not just yet. I'm going to go and see Matt.
Well, get a decent one.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Goodbye.
Look at that, you fluorocarbon god.
I've got a bream on.
You've got a
I've
fish
got a
on.
bream on.
Right, come on then.
It's not a bream, it's a trainee bream.
Little one.
In the United Kingdom, we call them Jimmy Rimmers, aka Skimmers.
Give her. Perfect timing. You seem to be very quiet all of a sudden.
This is what if you do this.
Oh, I've seen this trick. Come to me.
Watch. But he's here. Here.
It's a good little trick, that.
Works every time.
Seems to. You'll go over your shoulder cock.
I'm doing a bit of hook testing today, Tank.
Oh, yeah?
Got some new prototype hooks, and they are very, very fine, but they are very, very nice. You know, for these commercial silverfish, they are very nice. Nice little skimmer, Jimmy Rimmer, aka Baby Bream.
Yeah, baby bream.
Baby Bream. baby.
Give her a
ring,
kiss.
do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, nice. Rex Hunt.
Yeah.
Right. Come on then, mate. I need a tip from you.
I'm not giving you any tips.
You're going to have to. You're that good. You need to share them.
I don't want to.
You have to.
I can't.
You have to share
I'm not
them.
giving anything away.
It's your job to share tips.
All right. What do you want to tip about?
Well, what's all this stuff on your tray? Well, I feel like you've put this there.
I've done a bit of a Blue Peter. Here's one I prepared earlier because the first tip from me is about actually feeding at the start of a session.
Okay.
And on this kind of venue, especially when it's cold in the winter months when you're fishing for commercial silvers, it can take a long time to get a bite. Sometimes 90 minutes, even 2 hours to actually start catching properly. But I find the best way to avoid that and put a few fish in the net during the hard time is to feed 2 separate lines. One positively and one negatively. Now, a lot of people will just put in 3 or 4 balls, plenty of bait, wait for fish to come. But by feeding a line a little bit more negative, just with 1 ball and a slightly smaller ball, you can actually catch earlier. So today, for example, you see that white water in front of me, that white channel? I've fed my 3 balls like that. Plenty of joker in them. It's freezing today, so
A lot of joker in there.
a lot of joker. I fed them bang in line with that light coloured shadder. But then at the start, I potted a little nugget like that, same depth, same rig, plumbed it up exactly the same, but I swung round in line with that first tree just there. So I've got a negative line to start on, get a few bites, a little bit of bait, put some fish in there, and then once they start eating, like they are doing now, I'll catch them over the main menu.
I love it.
That's it.
You know, if you weren't allowed joker or bloodworm in your venue, what would you do in terms of what would you feed?
I'd just use it and not tell anybody.
That's what I usually do. It works a treat.
Normally, if a venue doesn't allow it, it's not that effective anyway, and you're better feeding things like a few dead pinkies, a few dead maggots, and a few casters. But just be careful not to feed too many particles.
Don't overgun it.
No.
Just use the same principle. 1 line negatively.
And 1 positive.
1 positive.
That's the crux of it. Positive and a negative. A bit like a battery.
Nice.
Positive and negative.
I've never heard that word before. Crux.
It's the crux of it.
That's the crux of it. What are you? Good use of the
Mate,
word crux.
I'm like a dictionary, mate.
Yeah.
Right then, Ringer. Another tip.
Who are you calling Ringer?
I'm calling you Ringer.
Call me Sir Steve.
Sir Stephen Feeder God Ringer.
Right, feeder choice. Got a variety of different feeders. But over the course of 5 hours, even in the winter, I could use every single one of them to a degree.
Yeah.
So, bait with a cage. Obviously, normally it'd involve the use of a big bait up feeder, like the 6 or 7 hole.
Do you always do that, Steve? Even if it's cold or mild, or what would you do?
No, sometimes for me, that's if I'm only fishing for a handful of skimmers, or I don't know how the fishing's going to be, sometimes putting 4 or 5 of them in is too much, which is why I can then carry the standard exchange in like 5 hole, 4 hole. Quite often I use that as a bait up feeder.
Okay.
And sometimes I want a bigger spread of bait. So like if I put 2 of them in, it's quite tight.
It's the same quantity.
Yeah, but I could put 5 of them in and then cover the same amount of bait but over a slightly bigger area. I always think with a feeder, fish become very difficult to catch if you fed only like a very tight area. So sometimes I'll use 5 chucks with that just to form a bit of a bed, a little slightly bigger area rather than 2 chucks with that one. So it's a case of working out what's right on the day. Then we've got the little exchanges. They tend to be my fish catching feeders at this time of year. I love a cage.
What are these? These slim lines?
Yeah, little slimline exchange.
Only small, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole. If I've put a volume in, I'll normally start on the 2 hole. If I'm going to build it up as I go, then maybe I'll start on the 4 hole, obviously chop and change the lead sizes. What I will say is, this time of year, fish are easily spooked by a feeder going in, so I'll use the minimum weight I can get away with to get to the required spot. So like today I'm fishing 18 metres, so 20 gram. You don't want a big producer this time of year, so they'll be my fishing feeders. And then if I start getting a lot of signs or I can't get the fish to settle, then I'll just switch to a little window, either the small or the mini.
Not a lot of food content there, is there?
No, sometimes I'll chuck them empty.
Right.
A little window, if I can actually pick one up. The next size down from that one, a little tiny window. There we go.
Here, yeah.
There we go, a little one like that. It's almost like a bomb.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
And
You never fish a bomb at this time of year?
No, a lot of the matches I fish are feeder only.
Okay.
So basically, you've got to fish a feeder. If I want to chuck without any bait in, window's perfect for it. Cast like a bomb. Or sometimes what I want is to basically put my hook bait in the swim, hook a fish, and then feed. And the way I think a window works, if you pack it quite tight, so basically I'll pack it quite tight, chuck it in. I don't think much comes out of it at all. Hook your fish. As soon as you hook your fish, feeder empties, play your fish, and you set in the swim again for the next fish. So it's a different presentation, much tighter. What I will say, if you're getting no indications, then cage. If you're getting indications and can't catch them, little window.
Perfect tip, mate. Lovely. Got a big one on, mate?
Yeah. This one. It's a hippo.
Is he fighting hard?
Absolute battle to the death.
Oh, yeah.
From a Makins skimmer.
Go on.
Look at the effort he's putting in.
Look at your arm, it's straining.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift him. I'm so tired after that.
Hey, well, that was like one of them sea battles with Marlin.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Look, I mean, look at the sheer size of him.
The strength.
Pure muscle. And he
Right.
swallowed my hook, so I'm going to have to use my disgorging device.
Disgorger.
Yes. Here we go. Satellite radio, yo, getting hit with a boom, boom.
Right then, mate.
Go on, then.
Another tip from the top.
You've had one already, you're not having another.
You need to face me over here. Come on.
You've had one already, you have had one, you're not having another one.
Right, I want another one.
Go on then, I'll give you another one.
Go on.
It's a bit of a... It's one that I do a lot, but I don't really talk about a lot. And it's all about where you fish in relation to your bait.
Mm-hmm.
Now, often commercial silverfish fishing in winter, you hear people say, I caught a few and then I started foul hooking them and it went a bit weird. And then you end up feeding and you mess your peg up. Now, when I first start missing bites or foul hooking fish, I'll often try fishing in a different area of my peg, and by that I mean fishing a little bit left, a little bit right, but more often than not I fish a little bit past my bait.
Why do you think that's important?
I think because you've got your pole this side, any disturbance is this side, and I feel like fish just hang off the back edge of your bait more than anywhere else. But the way that I do it's got a little personal routine of doing it.
I like it.
So I often fish 13 metres. Yeah, I can do it with this pole, I can do it 11.5, I can do it shorter, I can do it at 14 or 16 if I want, but I've got a dolly boat that takes my pole to 13 metres there.
I can see it.
So if I'm fishing to the end of that and I'm missing a few bites and what have you, I'll often think, I'm going to fish a bit past. So I'll take him off and I will put on my longer section, my 14 metre section. So I'm then fishing about a metre past my bait. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's a really good example,
So
mate.
I'm just fishing on the back edge of it. I'm not fishing miles past it. You're not, you're still right in the area.
You're still in that little sort of perimeter.
But you're on the back edge. And the reason, this is the important bit that I'd like to sort of tell people. I think the reason that fishing past or on the back edge of your bait works, it's not always because fish are scared of your bait and they sit away from it. It's often because on that back edge of it, there's less food. You imagine fish come in, they start feeding, they waft a bit of bait about, and in the middle, there's loads of stuff for them to eat. But on that back edge, there's not as much. You can imagine they just waft an odd maggot, an odd pinky, an odd joker. So your hook bait stands out a lot more in that part of your peg, so they can pick it out quicker.
Perfect.
Do you get me?
Yeah, it's really good, mate. I love it.
On that back edge of it, there's less options for them. So when you put yours there, they can just pick it out a bit quicker. And it does work a treat, often later in the day when there's a lot of fish being in your peg eating.
You're a pro.
I'm not.
You're an absolute pro.
I'm not. Look, I've got a tangle.
Oh.
Look, I've got a wrangle. I'm not a pro,
You
honestly.
are a pro.
I'm rubbish, mate.
You're
I
a
am.
pro. I bet
crap.
you get that out. I bet you get it out.
You want me to get it out?
No. Thanks, mate. You're a pro. Final tip from Roon Dog.
Oh.
Hit me with it, mate. Now you know that was closer than you think.
I felt your snot on your nose. Sorry about that. Well, they're fishing for skimmers and stuff. Lake 5 at Makins, full of carp. I like to fish for carp.
You love a carp, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do, yeah. So I'm happy to sit and wait. But quite a cool little thing. We used to do this a lot years ago on here. Is just basically fishing a hook bait.
Right.
So I'm literally sitting here looking for fish, bubbles, signs of fish showing, and literally just chucking at them. Nice little light lead, 15 gram, very simple rig. I mean, this rig's simpler than anything. Just got the waggler attachment because it's got a nice little eye on it. Can you see that?
All right, yeah.
And then I've just got this is a little quick change bead system with a helisafe bead on it as well. So I can change my hook lengths nice and quick. So very minimal.
Quite a long hook length, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I like a long hook length. I don't know, I just like the separation. I like the fact that it falls a bit slow through the water. And then not my usual big size 12 QM1.
Oh, it's a
We've got
diddy
a
hook,
nice
that.
little 16 Kaizen-eyed and quite a long hair. I mean, at this chuck I'm trying double corn, but I like a long hair because you're fishing a light hook, it gets sucked up anyway. But by having a long hair, you can swap between a single piece of corn, 2 pieces of corn. I can lay a piece of corn flat.
I
You know,
like it.
just like mix it up a bit.
Gives you a bit of versatility, doesn't it, with
Yeah.
being a bit longer?
Yeah, got some other baits as well, but corn's just a great standout bait on its own. And nice and light on the line as well. I've got £5 main line through to a little bit heavier shock leader. I've
Yeah,
got
it's
a
a
real
bit
short
thicker,
lock.
that, innit?
Yeah, that's like 0.25 shock leader, and that's fluorocarbon.
Mhm.
So it just sits on the bottom out the way, you know.
Really nice.
And then I've gone for quite a long 0.13 fluorocarbon hook length. There's a bit of a fluorocarbon theme going on today.
Fluorocarbon theme.
We may
something
be
we're testing.
testing fluorocarbon. But yes, I'm doing that.
Love
Just
it.
literally having it. I mean, you won't see on the camera, but
No.
there's quite a few fish. I've like spooked them down now. They're really working down the peg. We've got some lovely carp, ghosties, mirrors, but literally, honestly, just fishing a single hook bait. So I'm just literally looking around, seeing where that's
Trying to locate 'em.
Yeah, that's it. It's quite good. It's quite good fun, you know.
I bet it's rewarding when it goes round.
Yeah, they're hell of a bites
Yeah,
in
I
the
love it.
winter. Nice little soft rod. Some ones Steve Ringer's been working on. I don't know if they're any good, but they're coming out soon. But look, just there. There's been a few
yeah.
fish topping. Let it drop in. Not even fishing a tight line really. Just sinking the line a little bit. Light line don't like sinking, does it?
No, no.
Especially when it's flat calm.
I like it, and it often happens, doesn't it? When it's colder now, when you're
Yeah.
fishing, you catch an odd one straight in front of you,
Hmm.
then they just back off. But I like that little tip, like keeping your eyes open.
Yeah, it's quite good fun in the winter, just a little bit. And obviously, when we're testing, you know, it's winter time. It's perfect time for testing. When you're testing like light fluorocarbon and stuff, you don't want to catch skimmers, do you? You want to catch carp. Come on.
Proper fish.
Yeah, you know.
Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
Great day product testing today at Makins, and hopefully you've enjoyed some of the tips from the lads. And if you have, please hit that subscribe button. You'll see it on this little video right now. Hit that button and you'll be updated whenever we bring out a new video.